is
We know
it's been like that.
which options to pick in our life. Now that we older, these kids, like going back to the school situations and shit, when they're
Mm.
going through half the pain that we've been through, or go through the situations that we're going through, and they're going through it in their own way, in their own situations, different households, different communities, different schools. They know what I'm talking about, like, and then they lash out. In their minds, they don't think they got options, especially if they're
Yeah.
not talked to. So that's what I'm saying. Like, we know we got our options. We know what to do. We know from right and wrong. They may know from right and wrong, but which option to pick is what's confusing them in their head. Same way we got the little devil in one corner and the angel in the other one. What makes people think that these kids don't? And if they're influenced enough by the wrong person, what makes you think they're going to pick the right decision? What makes you think they're going to pick the right option?
And you
You
know
may
what's
think
crazy
you're an
about it?
influencer, but you're not sometimes. I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about, the people in a certain situations.
Yeah. Nah, I get you where you coming from. No, listen, I can tell you this right now. When I found out what was really what, and I'm gonna tell you this off the rip, I found out it wasn't done maliciously, and of course, it's something that I'll speak against too, as far as drugs. If you know people need help, get them the
Hmm.
fucking help.
I've said
Like,
that.
like I said, it's not like, I told somebody, I said, man, listen, I said when I found out everything I needed to find out, I said it kind of painted a picture because, like I said, before my other grandmother, at one point, everybody was just like, yeah. I'm like, why is it like? And then like my uncles know them on my father's side, they never denied me because they knew who the fuck I was, and that's why I said I was placed in a, even though it was a bad situation, I was placed in a good situation as well too because almost everybody that really knew the truth, they never treated me any different. They knew
Yeah.
what it was, and they seen that regardless of what, I came up to be something that most people ain't gonna be. I'm not super successful, but I'm where I need to be. I'm comfortable. I'm good. I
Yeah.
like some people be crying about certain things. I don't cry about material things to a degree because guess what? We ain't all gonna be rich, and even if we get there, a lot of us ain't gonna keep it anyway because that's going for other things.
That
That's
shit
what you
come and
really
go.
building for.
I tell a lot of people I can't be bought. That's why people get mad at me. Like, oh, you was giving me this because you thought I could be bought. All right, my bad. Sorry for the misunderstanding. Didn't mean to confuse you.
Well, I'm gonna buy you next year for All Star Weekend. Don't worry. The price is gonna be good though. We taking YouTube money. Don't worry.
No, but I peep that shit from people. They be like, oh, but I did this for you. You owe me this. I owe you what? My life? So I'm gonna fuck my life up because you think I owe you this because you offered your assistance. Now make that make
Rachel,
sense.
first of
Can we?
all, if someone does something for you, they do it for you. They
Yeah,
don't do it because they're going to get something out of it.
Exactly.
exactly.
That's why I say I get from the heart. Like, I don't care about getting back because at the end of the day, I'm gonna get mines by any means necessary, whether it's today or tomorrow. Like, I work hard as shit to get my shit. Same way that a lot of people work hard as shit to get theirs.
If someone's
Yeah,
saying to you, I did this for you, so now you've got to do that, I'd get rid of
Yeah.
them.
And then they see that's how these kids get influenced, and people don't peep that. They got adults trying to do it on adults. If y'all open y'all eyes up, that's how these kids are getting influenced. Peep it. It makes no
yeah.
Exactly.
fucking
They
difference.
don't
It
Social
does.
just
media made
learn
it better.
they don't just learn our good points. They watch everything. If you watch your toddler, if you curse, if you drop
Yeah.
something and you're like, oh fuck, your toddler's gonna do the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
Your child's gonna start copying you.
You in the matrix.
So you're kind of, you know, if you're sitting there doing things for other people just because they do things for you, all of a sudden you're teaching your children you only do things to help people because they're doing things for you.
Exactly. That's why.
If you're going
Well,
to do something to help someone, don't have any expectations. That's the only way you're not going to get let down.
Yep. And that's why I do what I do right now because I realized when like you like speaking on the stories and stuff certain stuff like that, I realized that it does help certain people. I've had certain people tell me I didn't know this happened to you, like, thank you for speaking up, now I can speak up on mines. And I didn't know that I had a little influence like that because at the end of the day I could understand where they're coming from. I was shut down at one point. I thought that me speaking up was going to bring me a lot of lashback, but in reality, it did the opposite. Like, I did get the lashback with it. I'm not going to sit here and lie. I did get a lot of lashback, but I had more positive than what I had negative.
Amen.
So it was like, for those people that be like, oh, don't speak up on this because that you're going to get made fun of. No, speak up. Speak your truth. Let them know who you are. And if they feel embarrassed, that's on them. You're speaking your story. It's not their fucking story. Like, at the end of the day, not all of us is sitting here trying to put something up to, like, get proof or get sympathy or get pity or get this or get that. Like, we're speaking up because we just realized that we could help the next person with our story. Like, who would have thought that my story could help these kids or could help this person over here? And when I realized,
it's helped me.
yeah, when I realized that, I just kept on speaking on more topics like this. Like, I like, damn, I threw myself off last year a little bit, but shit, a shorty back. Like, I said that shit when we started 2023. Like, I'm back.
Exactly.
Wait a minute, you
And I
left?
think as survivors, that's what we need to do.
Yeah.
Do
I'm
you
back to
know
myself.
somebody-
Like, like I said last year, I got off track. Like, I got off my message. Like, I'm back on here with the message that I started off with. Like, I need to keep on track. Like, I need not to, like, get thrown off. Keep on my message. Stay positive. Like, regardless of anything. Like I said, I did get a lot of lashback for the videos and the stuff that I had spoke about in the past. So it was like last year, trying to like network in different panels to try to get people to see what it is that I'm talking about and stuff like that. It made me feel like it kind of backlashed because, like, damn, stay on your panel, don't speak on this, don't speak on that. But then I realized it's like, no, Ray, it's not your fault. People gonna take shit how they gonna take it, and regardless of anything, when you're doing something good, people's always gonna want to bring you down. So instead of like getting off of social media like you did a whole year before, like, just sit here and, like, instead of going live all the time or like every 3 days and miss 3 days, no, just give it a break. Maybe go off a week and just watch the content creators that you watch and catch up on their videos. Like I've been doing lately. Like when I feel like I'm depressed, I just get off social media and then I get back on it. I'm not gonna do what I went through last year because it's like when you're down and people know your story. Like my story's out there. So I kind of peeped after what happened last year. I'm like, people is really like, they kind of know where to hit, but I didn't know at that moment. They know what to say or how to do certain shit to make a shorty kind of like. So it's like, nah.
But that's the thing too. And I could break this down as a blueprint. See why I don't get bothered on it? Because whatever I presented up there, that's because that was truthfulness. And on top of that, I've been there, done that, been past that, and made it further than probably half of the people that would say something stupid along that line anyway. So again, I won that battle. You know, a lot of times you're gonna get a lot of people are gonna get unscathed because some people just know how to handle whatever. See, and once you break down what you break down again, if you ain't on here doing certain things that you don't need to be doing, you don't really gotta necessarily worry about, because you don't always have people saying something stupid out their mouth. But that's because, of course, they unhappy with their life. Again, that's a form of unhappiness.
Yeah.
But see, as I said, you have good people who come on here, even if they ain't staying on topic and they just being funny, they being funny. But see, that's technically what the real trolls was. Those were the ones that was just like, oh, all right, he being a fool, but you know, we're gonna let it rock. He cool. He ain't saying nothing disrespectful. But then you got those who take it above and beyond. The ones that take it above and beyond are the ones that really want to say some dumb shit. So that's why I said you gotta be unscathed. That's the one thing you gotta understand too. But you probably understand it now. Gotta have a tough skin. And whatever you do present on here, hey, if they can't use it against you, really, like, what can anybody tell me? I just presented a situation to you while was going on.
Listen, I've told people already a long time ago, my life is out there. I ain't got no goddamn secrets. My story's out there, and I did it to help the next person. I'm glad that I helped a couple people from those that I do know, those that I don't know about. Hopefully I did, you know, some type of way kind of like helped you, you know, speak your truth, do what you gotta do, like, because it's really what it's all about. Like, I'm not here for the beef or the bullshit. I walk away from that shit. I don't like listen, I don't like toxic people in my life at all, because misery loves company, and I'm not miserable. I love myself. I know who I am. I know my worth. I know what it is that I want in life. Like, I know that a shorty goes, you know, through depression. We all go through depression. Is how we pick ourselves up that matters.
Right.
So I'm not gonna sit here and
And
dwell,
everybody
oh, I
come to
fucked
realize
up, I
that.
did this. No, like, you know, we all fuck up. Like at the end of the day, what matters is what we do after that. Now, we keep doing the same shit over and over. I've told people time after time, listen, I learned from my first mistake. I ain't doing it twice. You got me fucked up. And
Wrong
once I
way.
learn who you are, that lets me know how to treat you from there on. And I'm not, listen, I'm the type of person that fights for justice. Like, you could sit here and try to put me down all you want. My life is out there. I put it out there for a reason because I got tired of people lashing back. No, this is my life. You got something against it, well, then that's on you. You got a problem with it, that's on you. You can give your opinion. I'm not going to sit here and feed into it because I know
I've
who
got a
I am
whole
and I
problem
know
with
what I
your
am.
life. I've got a whole problem with your life. I've got a whole problem with the fact that people have treated you like shit and that people will still continue to try to do that. But
See,
the
but
one thing I don't have a problem with is that you've now learned there's arseholes out there. As kids, we don't realise that because we're naive. We are very naive. And
Wait
we
a minute.
rely on adults to teach us.
Wait a minute,
And
Angel. Are you
sometimes
finally learning something? Wait a minute. Did you learn from my situation recently? Yes, baby Pablo. Yes.
y'all is crazy.
I might have done, I don't know. But the thing is, a lot of misconceptions are
Mm-hmm.
with someone that's been abused a lot of times.
Yeah. And that's why I said I won't get on here.
Sometimes people can be abused more than once, more than
Mm-hmm.
twice. It's because, especially if you've learned from a young age
Yeah, that's a
what
Yep.
fact right
abuse
there.
is,
Once they,
that's all you know.
once that's being
So
taught,
you get into abusive relationships, or these people can seek you out because they know exactly how trusting, how loving,
Yep.
how caring you are. So they deliberately seek you out. So please, on the internet, stop saying if that he or she has been through more than one or two situations, they mustn't have been through it. Some people, and this is why a lot of people are put on at risk registers because they have accepted it in the past.
Mm-hmm. There's a
This
lot of
is
people that are not on the
also,
sex registry either, too. So we don't even know
yeah,
who's a rapist, who's a molester. Sometimes it could be our next door neighbor, and we don't. It could be our fucking uncle, and we don't even know
you
it.
haven't got a clue.
exactly.
Until it happens, you
To
don't
you,
have a clue because everyone says, oh, but he was lovely, she was great, but they were beating and having sex with their children. And some of them, some of these people that were so wonderful, you look at Fred West and Rosemary West, they was having sex, torturing and beating people with a house full of children and burying them in their house, in their back garden
that story sounds
for
so familiar.
years, for years.
That shit, it do happen though, and look what's happening in the schools. We got gym teachers, we got teachers, we got counselors, we got principals having
Don't
sexual
forget them
intercourse.
janitors. Don't forget
Yeah,
about them janitors. You got them weird ones too. And see, it always
exactly.
be one of them that end up being the one that's getting. Oh, but I always felt like this. Once you get one or even two reports of something like that happening in that same school district or in that same school, that should be an awareness for a lot of y'all to say, "Nah, hold up. You're supposed to be not just the. It's not just the board of ed that's supposed to just be on. No, everybody in the community is supposed to be on that shit because guess what? You don't know who else could possibly come through this damn doors and they probably on the same type of time. That's why I say you're not doing extensive backgrounds. If you
They
talking
not.
about you want to do this and do that with the kids, okay. Well, let me make sure everything is in accordance. Let me just, or better yet, supposed to have people technically supervising, checking to make sure, okay, we make sure this nigga doing what he's supposed to be doing. We make sure I don't see nothing out the ordinary I ain't supposed to be seeing. And some people
Nate,
are seeing and still won't say
a lot
nothing.
of the time, these guys, men and women, are very careful. They know who to choose. They choose insecure kids kids that crave love, not sex, because they don't even know what sex is, but they crave
Yeah,
love. They crave attention. Just someone to notice that they're there, and then all of a sudden someone comes across them and notices that they're there.
yeah. Oh shoot, my bad, yo.
It
I'm
could be that
multitasking too.
simple. I mean, at the age of 3 years old or 5 years old, how does a kid know that that is abuse or sex?
Exactly. They don't, and I could tell you from experience.
But you can come on the internet and you can explain that there's these bastards out there that will try to have sex with your 3-year-old kids, your newborn babies, because you know you've been there. And you know what? They will call you a whore because at 3 years old you did not stop that person. Because they're trolls, they're nasty people. They will seek out your channel and they will try to make you feel like you did back then.
Do y'all see the screen?
Yeah, that's why I was saying, you know what, Andrew? I'll be honest with you, like I was saying, it's still going to have to be that type of thing. You're still going to have to make sure you're a vocal part and a visible part of your child's well-being and growth if you plan on leaving them in school. Now, see, just like we were saying, now for some of those who feel like they can't trust nothing, if you going to pull the kid out of school, then that means you have to be the disciplinary and you also have to be the teacher, which means you're
Exactly.
going to have to
Amen.
give your whole time. You're going to have to dedicate your time to make sure your kid is right.
And that takes a lot all
Amen.
day.
Exactly.
And the hours are way different. Like you have to be ready for this. Like my son starts at eight, I think it's 8 in the morning, and he doesn't get out of cyber school until like 4. He gets like 4 breaks in between, and he gets PE. And guess what? I have to do the PE with him.
Yeah,
How's he gonna do PE through the computer?
he
He has to have
can't.
a coach. Like people don't make that make. I'm like I've had teachers like sit here and have conferences with parents like, look, listen, you have to be a part of your kid's curriculum. You have to, like, my son right now, he's getting tired. Like I have to start taking him out more places and stuff like that because the hours are crazy. Even on Saturdays and Sundays, if he don't do certain work, he has to go make it up on Saturdays and Sundays. He gets mad at me, but like I told him, I'm like, you have to get this together because if not, you're going to fail. And whose fault is it? Yours. But a lot of parents don't sit here and have them conversations with their kids when they're at cyber school. I'm like, what's the whole point of taking your child out of school if you're not going to be there? How many parents have been, how many kids have been alone in the, with the teacher on the laptop and no parents around? There's videos on that. I know a lot of y'all have seen that, especially when the pandemic started. It was really bad. I can imagine how bad it has gotten since they stopped talking about it. You
Yeah,
can't
nah, but I've
sit.
seen that. I've seen that though, because you know what it is. I told somebody that too. I said you can't sit here and expect that if you're not going to really be, you know, if you're not going to be in accordance. Because
Yeah, that's why I was
who else
piggybacking
is
right
going to
off of
teach the
you.
kids? If you're not going to teach your kids and you ain't going to do the right things, what the fuck? You basically giving your kids up to the wolves anyway. They're going to
Hmm.
go find out the wrong way or the hard way. You got to break it down to them at some point.
But parents are being lazy. They ain't got time for it right now. But look,
I'm going to tell you something, and this is like probably one of the most embarrassing things I've ever said. When I gave birth to my son, I told his father, I'm going to have a shower, don't leave him. I went, I had a shower, I came back and I took my son home. I then implemented myself in every part of his life growing up. I became a nursery nurse. I worked in his nursery. When he moved up to reception, I moved up with him. I kept in the school so I could stay close to my son because I was petrified. Just like you said, Rach. If I left him alone, I didn't know who to trust.
And that's how I got with my son in the beginning. The first time, I didn't know what to do.
Mm.
Boy, I was so stuck. Listen, I took my other son out because I seen they was already messing with him, the principal, and all of them. Like, once I started noticing they was calling me every day for the other one, I said, oh no, y'all not gonna fuck with him. I took him right
No
away.
one's gonna hurt my
Listen,
boy.
my son, listen, it started with this. My son was playing Grand Theft Auto for the first time, and I don't know he was playing Grand Theft Auto. He went to school. I had already took out my son, and they had already pressed charges against my son. The whole situation had already happened. So my son goes to school, and he's talking to his little friend about the Grand Theft Auto game, and they're talking about the little strip thingy part. I don't listen. I haven't played Grand Theft Auto since I was a kid. So once the whole situation happened, I had talked to him, and I wanted him to show me what was going on and what he was talking to with his friend. They're boys. They're gonna talk about this. What boy doesn't talk about the damn strippers in the club? Like they saw some girl animated on a damn club with some bikini, and they was talking about how they could do this in the game and what would happen if they was able to go to a strip club in real life. My son was honest about it, what he had said with his friend, blah 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 blah. And I'm like, yo, I couldn't notice this when I first played Grand Theft Auto. Like, you could literally see all this shit on Grand Theft Auto. Like, it wasn't like this when I was little. I know all y'all played Grand Theft Auto when y'all was young. Like,
Yeah, GTA 5, right? Yeah,
I
yeah.
walked in.
yeah.
I remember Harry.
So
Sorry.
listen, this lady gonna sit here and tell me she wants my son to go to some type of therapy downtown, right? And get therapy for kids that have sexual problems and are predators. I'm sitting here, I'm like, wait, my son's not raping nobody. My son doesn't have a sexual problem. He doesn't even have the urge
What
to
the
fuck yet.
fuck?
I'm sitting here, I'm like, is you fucking tripping? She's like, well, if you don't take him here, there's gonna be. I'm like, fuck, no. Yo, I almost snapped on her, and I said, you know what? I'm taking my son out of school. You're not doing this. Y'all not gonna sit here and fuck with him because y'all mad that I sat here and sued the shit out y'all fucking principal and said that I wanted her
Rachel,
out
I'm
because of what happened to
lost.
my child.
I'm lost. Why the fuck did this grown woman? I've lost something. Why the fuck did this grown woman want your child to have sexual therapy?
Because they was talking about the strip club on Grand Theft Auto. Make that make sense. It didn't make sense
Oh
to
well,
nobody.
I remember one
Nate.
day my son was probably about 12. I walked in and his friends had brought this game over and he was buying drugs and prostitutes
On the game?
and shooting at 12 years old.
That's what I was gonna say, Nate. I mean, I know
He was
you've seen
buying
these kids play
drugs,
Grand Theft Auto.
prostitutes, cars
Yeah.
and cars
Nah,
and
listen,
cars.
listen. The furthest thing I've seen besides GTA 5 with the what you were just talking about, the thing that came close to that was the closest game that was next to that, as far as showing that was, I think it was before GTA 5. It was it 4 or was it 3? But they was always showing certain things like that, even though it wasn't as graphic. When that 5 came out, I was like, oh, you can actually see this girl give. I said, what kind of shit? But you knew that they was gearing that too. Certain games and certain things, that's what they was gearing
Yeah,
for.
but my whole thing is sit here and try to give a kid, like Angel was saying, like, I'm with her because listen, I snapped on the principal. I took my son out. Like, you're not gonna fuck with my son.
I
They was
took
just
all
really
his
trying to
friends
find.
out.
They was trying to make an excuse because listen, I'm fucking with them now. Like, I'm sitting here, I got a lawsuit. I'm fighting against them. I didn't keep my mouth shut like other parents did. I sat here, I got on social media, I made a petition. The school was really mad about that shit. I went to the dean of the school district of Philadelphia. I got a video up on Facebook. His excuse was the worst excuse ever. Nigga, it makes me feel like you're a part of this shit. You don't give a fuck. Why are you even a dean from the
Rachel,
school
this
district?
comes back. This comes back to the whole you're in the wrong job for the wrong reason.
And these
Us
teachers,
parents shouldn't be telling teachers what to do. Because if they really gave a shit about kids, they'd already be there before the parents was. Because they're there getting the information, having it fed to them before they feed it to our children.
you're right, but
So
then like I'm
fuck
with you. You're right on that
them.
part. But it
Excuse my
also
language, mate.
it also lands on us, the parents. Like Nate has been saying, like I've been saying, like Doe Wise, like the word has been saying. We also have to talk to our kids so that when they go, like I've been saying, these kids are easily influenced. That's one of that's the key word right there. Easily influenced. So if they get easily influenced in these streets, what makes y'all think they're not going to be easily influenced in these schools, whether it's by a
Yeah.
staff or another student? I mean, I've heard Nate talk about all the
Most of
stuff.
our kids are looking for attention today. And if you don't see that, if no one sees that, then no one's on social media.
Mm-hmm.
There's 10-year-olds, 9-year-olds putting full face makeup on and showing their body in a way that is trying to promote sexuality.
Yeah.
And that's because they're copying their
What they see
elders.
and what they see on social media too. Listen,
And
why
do you know
can't a
what,
lot of
Rachel?
people?
This has been good for me too, because I put pictures with my cleavage out.
Hey,
Yeah. And do you know what? Maybe I shouldn't fucking do that. Maybe I'm part of the problem too. No, it's true. It's funny, but it's true. We are all part of this problem that is
yeah, we are.
sexualizing our children
Yes,
because
we
they're
are.
looking at us. And thank you, Rachel, because I've got some realization now.
Because you bringing that up, it brings me back to thinking of how I had a whole conversation with my daughter because she was, I think it was, oh yeah, it was on the kids' YouTube, and there was this video that she was watching, but there was this grown ass man, and he was dressed as a woman, but not just dressed as a woman. Why are you on this video on a kid's YouTube with a bikini on? I reported the video. I don't care if they get mad at me, but why is this on kids'
Yeah.
YouTube? And you a grown ass man switching
Because
from a
that's how
dress
they
to a
get down.
bikini.
Listen, they gearing that shit up, but they ain't trying to get the trolls off the internet that's putting out people's addresses and shit. Gotta make it make sense. I'm telling you, there's a lot of
Exactly.
things that they're gonna pick and choose what to fuck with. That's why I told her.
My daughter gonna sit here and ask me, Mom, what's that? Why is
I
he
told
like
you,
that?
man,
What
post it
is
like
that in
this.
his? Like, come on, we could see your whole print in that bikini, and then you got the little thong part. All you're covering is your John. I'm sorry to say it like that.
But
Trying to be a
Rachel,
woman. Like
I
as a
do
woman,
have
I
to
don't have a
say,
little. As a
Rachel, I
woman,
do have to say,